Okay, now we're live.
Welcome back to 12 Rounds of Adrenaline with Tony the Tiger Lopez. Let's pay some bills. Tony the Tiger Plumbing here in Sacramento. If you're not in Sacramento, you're about 20 miles out, you're still good. Woodland, Placer County, Folsom, you're still good. I'll come out there. Any kind of plumbing needs. I do handyman service too. I don't do the handyman service. I got people that do that. They're really good guys. They can handle all that for you. I take care of the plumbing part of it myself. The number there is 916-589-0455. 916-589-0455. That's for Tony the Tiger Plumbing in and around Sacramento, California, and Josue.
Hey guys, so if you guys need solar panel cleaning or gutter cleaning, you can reach us. You can reach me at 916-743-2227. Or if you want to go to the website, elitesolarcare.com, you can book an appointment there or get a quote. So
Cool.
Today we're going to talk about AI.
AI?
Artificial intelligence. Not really. We're going to interview Tony. So what I did earlier was...
Well, AI is going to interview me.
Yeah, AI basically is going to interview him. I asked AI to give me some questions for an interview. He gave me pretty good questions.
All right.
So let's see. Let's start with the first one. It says, what initially drew you to the sport of boxing and how did you get your start?
Well, that's easy. Father did it, brother did it. I inherited it. That's it.
That's it?
Yeah. I mean,
You just follow them.
follow the leader, I guess, right? Well, you know what? I was always fighting anyway, so.
In school?
Yeah, I was always fighting, dude.
Getting in trouble?
Yeah, and then Jerry was my brother's trainer, Jerry Jacobs, who no one really talks about, but was an excellent trainer. He's the one that actually trained me to be who I am today, and he's the one that actually picked me up and said, "Hey," I was getting ready to get in a fight down the street. As he was going to the gym, he seen me, he pulled over, and said, "You want to fight?" I go, "Yeah." I thought he wanted to watch, right? He goes, "Jump in the car." Jumped in the car.
That's how you started.
Went to the gym, never stopped.
So, because the next question is, can you describe the moment you first realized you wanted to become a professional boxer? Is that him?
Jerry was the guy throughout my amateur career, but he quit because he got tired. There was a lot of BS going on with the amateurs back then. And so one day he just quit. When he retired from boxing, I turned pro, and then I turned pro when no one wanted me to, and so but I did it anyways. And so basically my dad said, "Well, screw it. Let's get him a fight. Let's see what he does."
Were you the first one in the family that became pro?
No, my brother. No, hell no. My brother actually became number 3 in the world at one time. He was look. There's a difference. There are boxers and there are fighters. I am not a boxer. I am a fighter. My brother is not a fighter. He's a boxer. Now, he had the sweet science. He's like the Muhammad Ali, the Sugar Ray Leonard. He's that type of guy, you know. He move around. He thinks about what he's going to do. The bell rings. Let's go, you know. But not him. So he was 1,000 times better boxer than I was. You know, because, again, I'm not a boxer, you know. And yeah, I don't know. There's a difference.
I mean, what does it take to win a world title? You have to be a boxer or a fighter?
No, I believe it's, you know, that's a good question. You should be AI. That's a really good question. There are some boxing champions, and there's some boxing fighters. You have Mike Tyson, you have Sugar Ray Leonard, you have Muhammad Ali, you have all these different fighters. You have Mayweather, you have Pacquiao, you know, so there's a mix, and I guess it just depends if you're going to be a boxer. Now, watch this. Here's what I'm gonna piss off a lot of people. If you're a really good boxer, you can beat a really good fighter. But on any given day, a really good fighter can beat a really good boxer. You know, I really think it's what's in here. You know, Molina, John Molina was a really good boxer. That fool was everywhere, and he was hard to figure out. But I figured him out, and I came back and beat him again, But that's kind of what it takes, I think it's more here the desire to win than it is. It's still the sport of boxing and fighter, but I think it's more here,
To never quit, basically.
Yeah, I'll
Never
punch
give
the other
up.
guy. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So let's see this other question. What does a typical day of training look like for you during your peak fighting years?
Get up at 6, run my 6 miles, come home. Depend on what my weight was. Sometimes I ate, sometimes I didn't. Most of the time I didn't. Then I'd go to the gym in the afternoon, early after 1 o'clock. Train to 3 o'clock, 2:30, 3 o'clock. And
this was every day while you were working, right? You had a job in the...
When I was training for fights, this is when I was training for fights. 2 months before every title fight, I would stop working and I would only train. That's my job. But in between the fights, I'd work and train.
Okay.
But
you always train, basically.
Yeah, I trained every day.
Almost every day.
Almost every day.
Almost every day.
Yeah.
Do you think that's what separated you from the rest? Because I feel like you have to do something extra to become that guy, the world champion. You have to do something that nobody else is doing. Is that what you did? What do you do to become a world champion?
I think it's a little bit. I think you're on the right track, but it's a little bit more than that. I honestly say world champions come from not only a desire, but the willingness to do more than anybody else, the willingness to take more than anybody else, the willingness to diet better than someone else. It's that willingness to go that extra step to do what you need to do to win fights. And, watch, I'm telling you, there is times I train so hard for some fights, and then you go, man, how are you going to top that? But you figure out a way to train harder than that the next time. For real. That's how it was. And the next time you're training, it's even tougher than the last time you trained. You're going, how did that happen? I thought I did the most last time, but you outdid it this time. And that's what you have to do. Never get comfortable being a world champion. I did that a couple of times. You just get comfortable. You won 2 or 3 fights in a row. You're kind of comfortable. You're getting, that money's rolling in. You're getting, okay, yeah, maybe you didn't train as hard as you should have.
That's what happens a lot. There's a phenomenon going on in soccer in the World Cup.
Mm-hmm.
Every time a team wins the World Cup, first place, the next time they come back for the same tournament 4 years later, they are the first ones to leave. They're the first ones to lose.
Because soccer's a team sport. I'm sure there's a lot of variances, but they're the champs. Watch. It's very, very. What's the word I'm looking for? As a champ, as a fighter, you want that title. You will do anything it takes to get that title, and you will fight like you've never fought like before in your past history in life. That night, you either graduate or you don't. It's either you become that world champion or you're not. And that's really what it is. You may feel like 100%, but you fight at 175%. And I don't know where it comes from. I have no idea. I couldn't tell you where it came from. It just comes that way.
Was at any point where on your training, because I've heard this before, where you want to train so hard that the real fight is when you're training, and then when you actually go to the ring is not as bad as when you were training.
Exactly.
Is that how it was?
100%. Watch, I'll tell you something that no one really knows about, except for a few people that I told. Before my first title fight, I have got, like I said, I was raised a little bit different, and so I have driving a motorcycle, working at a body shop on 47th Avenue right here in Sacramento, right? I was on Elder Creek Road, and this was at nighttime. I was going to school, so at night I leave school, at 3:30 and go straight to the auto body shop and go work until 9 o'clock at night. And then I was coming home one night. It was raining. I had a little motorcycle, a little CL100 motorcycle. And I had no helmet loss. So I'm coming to the rain's coming down. It's nighttime. It's dark, and there's 2 lanes going this way, middle lane, 2 lanes going the opposite way, right? And so I see a guy come in my lane. I'm looking at him. I'm like, what's he gonna do? And at the last second, he just pulls in my lane, comes straight at me. So guess what? Bam! I hit him head on. I flew over what saved me is my legs hit the handlebars, and it threw me over his car. I landed in the street. I was out for a second, got up, walked to the side of the street, fell out again, and so I had badly bruised. I didn't break nothing, but my legs were badly bruised, and all this other stuff. But I guess I must have messed up my neck back then, right? But they didn't have chiropractors. They didn't have any of that, right? So I guess if I remember right, my neck was a little bit messed up, but it kind of healed itself. So my first world title fight with Rocky Lockridge in '88, I've never had a problem with my neck ever, and so I remember we're sparring, and the guy hits me, and it's a rare shot. It doesn't happen all the time, but it hit me right in my neck. It hit me right in my neck, and my neck. Okay, I guess my neck was off, but
you fixed it for you.
But the nerves grew around it, right? The nerves moved around it.
Yeah.
But when he hit me, it put it back. It set it. But now it's pinching a nerve because the nerves grew around it. So now it's pinching a nerve. So when I cooled down, I couldn't move my head a half inch either way, and I was going, "Oh my God!" And this is only about 7-8 days out before the first world title fight. And so Ron Geiger, who's over here in Folsom, it used to be a neighbor of ours, and he had just opened a chiropractor business. So we went to him. He goes, "Yeah, I can take care of you." He took the X-rays. He goes, "Yeah, I can fix this thing." And so I'm laying down on that little couch thing, and he taps my shoulder. He goes, "Here, lower the shoulder." So I did this, and he just goes, pops my neck, and now my neck was sore. I couldn't move it either way. I couldn't move it a half inch either way. It was that sore. And he just grabs it and goes, pop, and all in my head, I heard my neck just popped. I went, oh, but it killed me. I went, oh my God, it hurt. And then so he goes, okay. He did some more stuff. He goes, come back tomorrow, and then come back tomorrow, and then come back tomorrow. And every day it felt a little bit better. I think like maybe I couldn't spar no more in that time. I had to train, do something, but I couldn't spar. So I was hitting bags real easy, and I was hitting mitts and jump rope and doing little easy stuff I could do. About 3 days before the fight, I woke up, no pain at all. I had zero pain. Oh my God. And his name was Ron Geiger, and he owns Geiger Chiropractic right here in Folsom. And I throw him some props, man, because he saved that first fight. And I've never had a problem with it since.
Wow.
And I don't get punched in the neck that much anymore. So, but that was just a once in a lifetime kind of shots, I guess.
That's good. All right, let's see this other one. Now that's mainly how you physically prepare for a fight, but how do you mentally prepare for a fight?
That's easy. You know what? I never really had to mentally prepare for a fight. I really didn't.
Or maybe you were preparing yourself every day anyways.
Maybe.
Like believing in yourself, believing that you wanted to do that.
Maybe, yeah. Rather I get I'm old. When I was younger, when I was getting a street fight or something, I self-pump myself up. I don't need somebody to be bigger than me. I don't need someone to be smaller than me. I don't need. All someone's got to do is bump into me and say, "Watch out." Good enough for me, And for me, it didn't take. It had, but there's a watch. I have a crazy side of me, and it doesn't come out too often, but it has come out. But when it comes out, I don't give up. What happens? I'm at that point where, okay, today's a good day to die, and I'm willing to die today, and I just go for it.
And that's what it seems like how you are and how you became successful, because anybody can put really the work. Anybody can really do all those training, the same training. I feel like anybody can do it if they have the right mentality, because anybody could have gotten that accident a couple weeks before a fight and would have said, quit. Like, I'm done. I'm hurting on my neck. Like there's no way I'm gonna be able to fight. Who knows how long it's gonna take for me to recuperate, like feel better.
Right.
And then, but you did it. You went and you found a chiropractor. You went and tried to fix it, and you went every day. And then 3 days later, suddenly you stopped. Like, I feel like it's more about the mental preparation than the physical, because if you don't have the mentality of I'm gonna go, I don't care how tired I am, I don't care if I didn't sleep very well, I don't care if I have problems with anybody, like I don't care if I don't have money for anything, like there's always an excuse, and it seems like you didn't listen to any excuses. You didn't have excuses. You didn't put anything to stop you.
You know, that stems from Jerry. It really does. Jerry was one of these guys. Jerry Jacobs was one of these guys. He trained Joe Guevara. He trained Stan Ward, who was a heavyweight champion, the California State heavyweight champion at the time. Jim Burchett, who was from Reno, Nevada, I believe. And they trained all these kids, and they all did really well. He trained my brother Sal, and Jerry was that guy, and I don't know what he saw in me. But with me, Jerry wasn't a people person. You know, he'd sit there back in the day, his leather jacket, tall, skinny guy, big old buff dude, but real skinny legs. He's standing there and smoking a cigarette. And you go, like, let's just say someone goes, "Hey Jerry, you fighting with?" Jerry like, "F you." You know, that's just how he was. But that was just Jerry. He liked to talk to people. He talked to me all the time. And Jerry was that guy that pushed me. Jerry was that guy that if I was tired, and let's just say, and this is how we trained when we were kids. I'd shadow box 3 rounds. I'd jump rope with 3 rounds. Then I'd hit bag, spar, do all the stuff I had to do. If we were sparring, we'd spar first. And then we hit the bags. Then we hit the speed bags. Then we'd do this and we'd do that. And Jerry never stopped. And sometimes he'd have you do constant punch on a heavy bag. That means the bag's hanging down like this. Your job is to keep it out at an angle by just punching it. You could not stop punching the bag. That bag could not come back. If you let that bag come back, he got in your ass. And so, but you did it so much and you did it so long that even before every fight, I was able to do that for an hour straight, nonstop. That's tough to do. And so, but Jerry did that. You know, Jerry would be, you know, he called me MFer so much, I thought my name was MFer, you know, you know, that's all. Yeah, that's how Jerry was. And then, you know, that's just how he treated me. I don't know, man. It was kind of weird because everybody seemed to treat me a little bit different, a little bit more hardcore. Maybe because I was that hardcore kid, you know. I don't know. I never seen Jerry do that to too many other fighters, you know. Never called my brother MFer. You know, but I thought that was my middle name. You know, but that's just how it was, you know, and I just did what they told me to do. You know?
So you had somebody that was pushing you constantly.
Oh yeah.
That's good. Yeah, because I like I said, that's one of the main things about becoming successful on anything. Like not giving out, not putting anything as an excuse. Because there's always things are gonna come up. Always. Right. Life happens.
Right.
So I feel like that's what separates you really from the rest of the fighters to become a world champion. Not giving up, like you said. Training really hard, be the first one and the last one to leave, and also not putting anything as an excuse. Because yes, you may have accidents and hurt your neck. Yeah. You may hit the bag and then suddenly you hurt your wrist. Like that doesn't matter. Like you have a goal and you have a goal to meet, and then you're gonna do it regardless of what happens.
Yeah.
So have you heard of David Goggins? David Goggins is a Navy SEAL. He wrote a book about his training in the Navy SEALs, and it's basically the same thing. Never give up. Like it is just going forward. Yeah. It doesn't matter if your leg is broken. You just keep going.
Yeah. You gotta do what you gotta do.
Exactly. Yeah. And then you see that in a lot of people. Like for example, I people that cross the border, like with kids, with no water, with who knows, broken bones, and they still make it. Things like that. Yeah. Like it's either life or death situations. So it takes a lot of mental strength to become successful, to become a world champion.
Yeah.
So I think your mental strength was where it was supposed to, and it was just something that was building up every day.
Yeah, I think that's. I mean, to me, it's a gift from God. You know, because not everybody has it. You know, determination is a motherfucker. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It really is. And hey, man, there's times, watch, you don't really understand. There's times when I didn't eat 3 or 4 days in a row. I didn't drink anything. I didn't eat anything because I got to make 130 pounds. And I had to still function. I had to get up and run. I had to train in the afternoon. I had to go back and train again at night. I did all kinds of stuff. And see, this is the stuff that people really don't know about. You know, they think, oh, he goes to the gym, then he goes home. No, I go to the gym, I go home, and then I go back to the gym. You know, and there's times I didn't eat for days at a time, trying to make that 130-pound limit. You know, because I was growing, I was getting bigger, and you know, man, there are some times I'm thinking, and back then I didn't make the money that they're making today. So back then, if I was making $350,000, which was a lot of money back then, I'm telling them, I'm training. I'm going, these MFers ain't paying me enough. I need to make more money. You know, yeah, because it's really that draining, and that you put your body through a lot of stress. I know I'm doing it. I know. I'm not complaining. I know I'm doing it. I never complained back then either. I never told anybody. I never said, oh, I'm tired, I want to go home. I never said that. You know, I said, what do we have to do next? You know, what's next? I want to know because I want to hear that. Oh, we're done. But I never heard it. Didn't hear that too much. But, you know, but you always want to hear it. But, you know, that's what it takes. You know, you got to go that extra. If you're a football player, baseball player, boxer, whatever you want to play or whatever you want to do, even in life, if you want to become the next CEO of a huge company, well, work your ass off to get there. It ain't easy. You know, and the work to get there is the MFer. It is. Yeah. It's tough.
It's to the extreme.
Yeah. You have to do other things that no one else is willing to do. If you're willing to do that and you put your mind to it and you program your whole life to it, you can do it. You can do anything you want to do if you want to. If you don't do it, guess what? You didn't want it that bad. You know, that's really what it is.
Yep.
You know, I mean,
it's like people losing weight. Like I right now I gained my weight back, but when I lost weight, I lost 60 pounds, and I had the same mentality. I said people the same thing. Like people would ask me how you lost so much weight and you look completely different. People were surprised at how I looked, and I said, well, I stopped eating unhealthy stuff. But no, for real, what do you do? No, I stopped. I started eating healthy. No, for real, what'd you do? No, I went to the gym. And I started eating healthy. Like people think that eating healthy is eating healthy one meal a day, and then the rest is like, oh, but I only had a little piece of cake. No, dude, like eating healthy is like eating healthy for no cheat meals, nothing. It was like completely focused. I didn't have to be at the gym 4 hours. I wasn't at the gym 4 hours. I was at the gym 1 hour, 2 hours. It wasn't that crazy. I still had a job. But I had no excuses, like you said. Yeah. I had no excuses. During my training, when I lost those 60 pounds and I became fit and I got a 6-pack, I got a broken toe. I had a broken toe, and I still went to the gym. I couldn't do the treadmill anymore, and I couldn't run because I would be limping. Yeah. You know what I did? I did a Stairmaster.
There it is. There.
I found another way to do it.
There's a will, there's a way.
Exactly. I still found a way to do cardio. Yeah. I still did leg training. If I couldn't do squats, I would do leg presses.
You know what's really crazy to me. I think people sell themselves short. I really do. Watch, and I don't care what. This is just me, and I watch other people, and everybody's different. So, like, I've seen some people that have no legs, but they say I can do this, and you're thinking, shit, okay, right, you know, and they do it. You know, that's determination. Mm-hmm. You know, a person doing something with one arm, you know, or with no arms, and can still play basketball. How in the hell do you do that? You know what I mean? You get really good at bumping the ball with your head. You know what I mean? I mean, if there's a will, there's a way.
Yeah.
You know, so I'm that guy. Don't come to me with some excuse. Oh, I can't do this because of. I can't do that because of. Shut up. If you really want to do it, you do it.
Yeah.
You know, if you don't want to do it, I find someone else. It's that simple. There is no excuse. You know, especially in today's world. Watch. I don't know. It's just becoming a different world. You know, and the kids are different today.
People are too soft.
Yeah, you know, because parents grew up wanting to be their kid's best friend. No, I told my daughter. I told her, talk to me like that. I go, I'm your effing daddy. I go, I'm not your friend. I go, I'm your effing daddy. Did you ever talk to me like that again? You know what? She didn't. Because I'd have beat that ass. You know, there's a difference. I'm not your friend. I'm your daddy. You know, and she understands it. And what's funny is she understands it to this day. Now we're best friends. You know what I mean? But, you know, because I have a job to do when she's a kid. That's my job. My job is to make sure that girl grows up right and becomes successful. That's my job to get her there. And so, you know, it's every parent's job to get her there. So if you're gonna be a good parent, then you're gonna do your job. Now, successful, everybody's success level is different. So some people are gonna become president, some aren't. Some are just gonna be. Hey, you know what? There's nothing wrong with. Watch. There's nothing wrong with being a great housewife or a house husband, whatever. You know, this Me Too person. I don't. Whatever. But you know, so it doesn't really matter what you do. You just be really good at what you do. You know, my dad says. My dad always told me, he goes, if you're going to be a sweeper, be the best damn sweeper that there is, and you'll always have a job. You know, so we even working at Maddox when I was cleaning the floors in the lunchroom. Guess what? I mopped, I did everything. You know, I had no shame in my game. I had a job. They was paying me just as much as they was paying the guys that were picking up brick. You know, so what shame is in that? They didn't talk shit to me because I'm going, I don't look like you right now, now do I? You know, you don't see me tired, do you? And I'm making just as much as you are. Now what? You know? So, you know, there's no shame in my game. I handle my business. Give me a job, I'll do it. You know?
Do the best you can.
Mm-hmm.
So let's go to the second one. The other question is, I think I asked this one without even knowing. You've held multiple titles in your career. What do you believe sets a champion apart from other fighters? That's the question. Same question I asked earlier.
Yeah, it's the same. Be willing to do more than
everybody else. Mm-hmm. So looking back, which fight do you consider the defining moment of your career and why?
Ooh. AI asked that?
Mm-hmm.
That's a damn good question. You know why? Because there's a few of them.
Lockridge?
He's one of them. Molina could be another one. Then you have other ones that are other ones, and some of them aren't even world title fights, because you learn and grow almost every fight. I had some 10-rounders that were MFers, and you know what? You learn from them too, and you learn if you get caught, you learn what not to do. You know, I tell you what, I learned a lot from Tim Brooks. I fought Tim Brooks. He was from Sacramento too, and we had the same weight, and so you know he had a great record too. So they put us to fight twice, and tough guy, tough kid, hit hard. That fool was the first dude who almost dropped me. You know, because the first fight, he was a lot bigger than I was. He said he weighed at 135. I think he fought at 135. I was fighting at 130, but he was ripped. You know, he was just way bigger than me. And so they said they wanted to fight me. So I go, well, yeah, 130, make 130. I'm thinking that fool can't make 130. So I was talking smack. I think he can make 130, and so they signed the contract of 130. And I told my dad. My dad was my manager. I told my dad he can't weigh 130 and a quarter. I wanted 130 because he was big and strong. Cause we used to spar together.
Yeah.
And I knew he'd be a tough fight. And so the day of the weigh-in, he came in, but he never dieted right. You know, and you can see it. He came in. His lips were white. He was skinnier than shit. Oh my God, he looked like he was gonna die. I could have went and blew him over. You know what I mean? That's how bad he looked. And so the fight happened, but he's tough. I mean, he doesn't quit. He's one of the fighters that don't quit. And so I won a decision, and then they said they wanted a rematch. Yeah, I'll give him a rematch. Yeah, well, I saw him the first time dead. He was dead on the scale, and so, and me thinking, yeah, he's gonna be dead on the scale. He ain't gonna make 130. Shit. Second time he came in, we said yeah, and then so we signed the contract. And in the second fight, he came in. That boy looked like he was real. he was fit and ready. And then and I think the second fight was in Reno or Lake Tahoe. Reno's in Reno or Lake Tahoe. And I'm moving around. It was the first round pretty easy. It went well. My round I got it pretty good. I guess he was just warming up because he got a little bit better the second time and the second round. And so I don't know why. I just took a break because I was it was going really good. So I was like, oh, okay, I can relax a little bit. I remember thinking I could relax a little bit. Well, he must have read my mind because he went,
man,
boom, hit me with a left hook. And people told me my knee came about that far from hitting the canvas. And I remember my eyes going dark. I really don't remember going down. I remember my legs locking. Mm-hmm. And then all of a sudden, as I'm standing up from my legs, so my legs buckled, and they said my knees came this far from hitting the ground. So I guess on my way up, my eyes came back, and I came up and I seen the referee over here. Tim Brooks was here, the ref was here, and I get up, my eyes came back. I seen him, so I started running behind the referee, moving behind the referee to give me more time. Because I was hurt. Mm-hmm. And then the referee was looking like this, and he's looking, and so he had to come back around. So it bought me another, 30 seconds. That 30 seconds is all I needed. I came back, and I won the fight, but he would have been the first person to ever drop me.
Oh, man.
Yeah, that was crazy.
That was a close one.
Yes, sir.
All right, let's go to the next one. It says, looking back, which fight do you consider? Okay, what was the biggest obstacle you had to overcome in your boxing career?
Making weight. That was the biggest challenge. If I can make weight, I can win fights. But it's when it was tougher than crap. Or it's when I didn't make the weight. Is when I lost titles.
So I know that because I've been involved in nutrition for a little bit now, and I know that back in the day, the what people believe what a good nutrition was is not the same as what it is now. So my question is, besides fasting, because you said you did a lot of fasting, what was your diet look like? How did your diet look like? What did you eat back then?
My breakfast was 2 eggs, and that's it. If I had breakfast, and a cup of coffee, because hot liquids go right through you. And
coffee without sugar or
without sugar. Mm-hmm. And then and I hated it, but it went right through you, so it would leave a little water weight to you. I didn't have lunch. If I had dinner, it would be a small chicken breast, a little bit of white rice with no flavor. It had zero flavor, no salt, no nothing, and that was it. And maybe if I could, maybe a little cup of coffee, or if my weight was good, I could have a little juice, maybe some water, but not even a full glass of water. And that was my diet.
Wow.
Yeah, that was it.
And then you still had to train hard.
3 times a day. Mm-hmm.
Basically dehydrated.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So there was no. So you guys would not drink that much water, because now they recommend to drink a gallon of water at least a day.
Oh yeah, no,
that was not the thing.
No.
Wow.
No, not back then. And like when I first started, I took a laxative before I started training. If I was gonna start training, not before the fights, but before I start training.
Yeah.
Every training session, Sunday night would be my last night of partying. So I'd take an X-Lax Sunday night. I clean my system Monday morning, and I'd clean it all out. And I only eat healthy after that. Then I ate healthy food. I didn't have sodas. Didn't have anything. I drank nothing but water if I could. Because in the beginning, you're still starting to lose weight, so you're not eating normal. You're on your diet, but you can drink a little bit more water. You can eat a little bit more at times, But anytime after 35, then it became a real diet. You know, then because I could sweat all that other stuff off. Because I used to walk around at 160.
Okay.
And I would drop 30 pounds for every diet, for every fight.
For every fight. Wow. So you had to do that extreme diet. That's crazy. And the training.
Yeah.
It says, how did you deal with losses and setbacks in the ring?
You know what? Same way as I did when I won. You know, if it was a loss, I mean, I don't know. You know, I wasn't upset. You know, I did the best I could. Maybe that day, that day that person was better than me. Whether I had a problem or not, you know, that day, whether I thought I won, whether I should have won, whatever. If they said he beat me, yeah, he beat me. That was it. You know, and so there's no crying about it. But you know, I don't know. You have those losses that you know what? Here's what it really is. Look, man, you go to work, you have a bad day.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well, I fight for a job, and sometimes I have a bad day. Sometimes I have bad days, and I can't tell nobody because you can't tell the media that because they'll blast all over the place, and everybody's going, "Oh, Tony's got this going on." Don't do that. It changes the odds on all kinds of stuff. Can't do that. So you fight hurt, you fight sore, you fight sick, you do whatever you got to do. There's been a few times I fought when I was sick. You know,
no excuses.
Yeah, you know, there's no excuses. You still got to do. You signed the contract, dude. You better show up that night. You know, and that's really what it is.
Wow.
You know?
Yeah, that determination and discipline. So how do you feel about the current state of boxing compared to when you were actively competing?
Well, you know, it's changed a lot.
You talk about that a lot.
Yeah, I know it's changed a lot. I may not like it, but it is what it is. I think, and it's like every era. The era before mine, the Bobby Chacones, the Tony the Lopez, the Ruben Oliveras, the Sugar Ray Leonards, and all Marvin Cyclers, all the guys back then. You know, because you see them once in a while. You know, man, we would have beat you up, we would have kicked your ass. You know, shut up, we would have smoked you. You know, you know. But if you go back and watch their fight, you go, damn, he might have whooped my ass. You know what I mean? Because they were tough, dude. They were a lot tougher than us. And it seems like, you know, I feel the same way for this new generation of boxers that, you know, well, because half of them don't know how to fight anyway, but that's not the fighter's fault. That's the trainer's fault. No, I'm serious about that. And you know, it's just different now, you know. They make catch weights, they make this and they make that. No, man, you either make a weight or you don't make it, or you lose the title. If there's a championship fight, back in the day, if there's a championship fight and one fighter doesn't make the weight, guess what happens? It drops down to a 10-round fight, and then let's say you're the champion and you didn't make weight. Well, like when I fought the guy from Brian Mitchell, I didn't make the weight. I just couldn't make it anymore. I didn't make it. I killed myself on the scale trying to make that weight. I didn't make it. So he had a choice. To either drop it down to a 10-rounder and he fights the number one contender for it later on, or he says yes to it and the fight it happens to be what it is. If I win, I win. If I lose, I lose. Mm-hmm. And then well, I was dead on the scale, you know. So yeah, he accepted the fight.
How much over were you?
3/4 of a freaking pound. 3/4 of a freak dude, and I had starved myself to death for that.
Hey, at that point, you wanted like
at that point, I wanted to shoot myself. Yeah, for real. And taking nothing from him, because guess what? Because if he would have done it, if he would have been like, if we had to change, I'd have took that fight too. It is what it is. Hey man, look, nothing wrong with it. I tried, you know, and I fought hard. You know, I never not fought hard. I don't think I was ever in a bad fight. Man, I don't think I ever had a boring fight, but I don't think I was ever in a bad fight. Win, lose, or draw, it is what it is. You know, that day, and like I say, no matter what, that day, he was better than me. Okay, catch me on a good day. See what happens. You know what I mean? Yeah. But it is what it is. You know? So
here's a good one. Are there any upcoming fighters that you remind you of yourself?
You know, there's this one, and I talked to him online on Facebook here and there, He's just now coming up in boxing. He's from Guatemala, and
Oh, that's where I'm from.
really,
Yeah.
oh, he's from Guatemala.
Oh, he's gonna be a champion.
He should be. Now watch this. He came over here. He wanted to box. We have a mutual friend. Friend says, "Hey, this guy wants to box. You should train him." Blah blah blah. He came over to the house. We started training. Kid really tried. Really tried. I'd show him one thing. In a few days, he'd have it, because he'd go home and practice. This kid wanted to fight, and so then, soon, a few months, I got him his first fight, amateur fight here in Sacramento. He won. He either beat you the death out of you, or he knocked you out. One or the other. That's how he was. And he had a close fight over here, and he kind of lost, and he kind of got mad, but because he wouldn't do what I was asking him to do. He kind of got a little big-headed, but kids do that. And so he lost, and then he came back. He was pissed off that time. He came back, talked to him a little bit. Hey, dude, next time you got to listen. He came back, I think he won by knockout. He was like, when he left Sacramento, he was 7-1 or 6-1, one of those. He came after his win. He went home, and he was young. He was only like 18, and then he went down. I guess him and his buddy went partying. They're from Placer County, so and he'd come down to Sacramento, train every day, and then after one of his fights, he won. He went back to, and I guess him and his buddy were partying, and he was drinking and driving. Hit a parked car, and his mom came from Guatemala to court. Tell the judge, hey, I'm taking him back home. And so all that time I put into him went back to Guatemala.
Oh, wow.
And then, but now he turned pro, and he's 6 or 7-0 with like 4 or 5 knockouts.
Wow.
He's a tough kid. He can fight. I was talking to him the other day. I go, hey man, I'm honest. Watch, if you ask me an honest question, tell me to be honest, I'm going to be honest whether you like it or not. So don't ask me something you really don't want to know. So he asked me, hey, coach, because he calls me coach. So he goes, hey, coach, how do you think I looked at the last fight? I go, well, you're keeping your hands down. I go, you can come over to the United States. I go, you're going to get your ass kicked. I go, you can't do that over here. I go, they're going to capitalize on that shit. They're going to knock you out. You can't do that here. And he kind of got mad. He didn't talk to me for a while. And it's been like months. Well, and it just happened to be like 4 days ago, he calls me, hey, coach, what do you think about this? What about this? I'm doing this. And what about this? So I'm giving him, because he's a good kid. I like the kid. Yeah. So I was definitely honest with him. That's on him, not me. So we talk. And I go, well, if you really want to get back in shape and learn how to fight, I go, come back to see me. I go, I'll train you. And so that's kind of how we left. And he's kind of go, well, I'm going to talk to my mom, But, because he got in trouble the last time. But he's a little bit older now. He's like, if he was 18 then, he might be 21, 22 now. So he's getting up there.
And he's still training over there?
Yeah, he's actually a pro fighter now.
Okay.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
That's pretty good. Let's see. What are the most important life lessons you've learned from boxing?
Train hard. Don't take no one light. Even the guy that has no knockouts can knock you out. It's just take everybody serious. Don't pretend, because remember,
Don't underestimate.
Don't
anybody.
underestimate nobody. If you're 35-0 and you're fighting someone who's 10-26 with no knockouts, guess what? He's looking for that first knockout, and you might be it if you don't train hard. So never take no one lightly.
That's a good one. How was your approach to life changed? How was your approach to life change since retiring from professional boxing?
It was anything I do is pretty easy, mentality wise. You know what I mean? The boxing career is done. It's over. That's okay. That's the section of life. It's done. Okay, let's find something else to do. I tried to do PI stuff. And then I did that for a while. I went to school with Pallet Alexander here in Sacramento. And then I did that for a while. John Berger was my attorney. He was my attorney's PI guy, and he had a school. So John Verga told me, hey man, go to that school. He goes, you took off for a year, okay? You're blowing a lot of your money. He goes, go find a job. And so I went to school, did that, and it's always go watch my husband, go watch my wife, go watch my husband, go watch. Man, I'm not a peeping Tom, dude. You go watch your husband. So I did it a few times, man, but it wasn't for me. And then I had met one of the bail bondsmen here in Sacramento, in Mexico, when I fought Chavez in Mexico. Mm-hmm. He happened to be looking for a skip in Mexico. So, we seen him there, and we go, hey, man, what's up? It was John Morgan. He goes, hey, man, what's up, dude? He goes, hey, I go, come and kick back with us, man. How long you going to be here? He goes, well, man, I'll be here for a while. I go, we got to find a couple about, like, 8 or 9 days, whatever it was. I go, hey, man, we'll put you up, put your room. You can hang out with us. We'll get you to the fight in the whole 9 years. He goes, oh, really? He goes, yeah, come on. So he hung with us the whole time. And then at the end, after the fight was over, in the dressing room, he goes, hey, Tony, he goes, I'm going to take off. I got to go chase the skip now. He goes, but when you retire, man, he goes, if you're interested in opening a bail bonds company, man, come see me. And I forgot all about that until I got tired of the PI stuff. And I happened to be driving downtown. I seen the bail bonds office, and I'm going, oh, man, he told me to go by. I'm going to come by and check him out. So I went by, checked him out. Next thing you know it, he's going, one guy, not him, but another one of the other owners goes, well, I'm only going to pay you $15 an hour. And I go, here's the difference between yesteryear and today's kids. I did it, and I had no problem with it. No, I don't think it was $15. I think it was like $7 or $8 an hour, or whatever it was. I think
the minimum wage?
Yeah, that's what it was. Because all it was is filling out paperwork. It wasn't really nothing. And I just got through making hundreds of thousands of dollars per fight. And now I'm
you go back to
making $6-7 an hour going. But you know what? My dad always told me, he goes, Amy, he goes, never be afraid. He goes, always start at the bottom. He goes, if you really want to learn how to run a business, start at the bottom, work your way up. He goes, that's the only way to do it. And so I've always believed that. So I go, okay, that's where I'll start. I showed up the next day, started doing this. Next thing you know, I was taking a test, passed my test. After the second time, passed my test. They said the bail bonds test was the second hardest test to take in the state of California.
Really?
First one's attorney, the law school. Yeah,
wow.
That's the first one. Because actually the
even after all those concussions, you still had your brain functioning right.
Because there's a lot of laws, penal codes, and all that inside. So and then and it takes 30 days to get your license in the mail. So in that 30 days, I went and got a desk. Well, the guy gave me a desk. I had really nothing in my office because I didn't know how successful this was going to be or not. So I was going to buy everything. I'll buy it as I'm going along and see what happens. It's kind of those. And I told my wife, I go, you want to come with me to open it? She goes, no. She had a process serving company, so she goes, no. She goes, you go do that. I'm gonna stick with what I'm doing. I go, okay. I'll just do my thing. But when I worked at the other place with his place, they made money, and I'm thinking, oh, geez, this is all. It's not fight money, but it's close. It was good money. And so I thought, man, okay. And so my belt, I didn't have no signage out front. I had an office right in front of the courthouse downtown. And then my doors were open. I think I had an open sign. That's all I had. It was an open sign. Because I was having my Tony the Tiger bail bond sign being made. It wasn't even made yet, my first day. And I'm sitting on my desk going, and it was bored. There was nothing to do. And then guy walks in, opens the door. He goes, "Hey, is this a bail bonds office?" I go, "Yeah." he goes, "You a bail bonds?" I go, "Yeah." He goes, "Oh, hey man." He goes, "My kid just got out of court. He has a bail. The judge gave him a bond. I want to bail him out." Cool, right on, sit down. So I sit him down. He's looking at me. And he's going, "Aren't you Tony the Tiger Lopez?" And I go, "Yeah, man." I goes, "Oh man." He goes, "Is this your bail bonds?" He goes, "Yeah." I go, "Well, today's my first." I go, "You're my very first customer."
Wow.
He goes, "Really?" He goes, "Really?" He goes, I remember he had a $30,000 bond. So the guy wanted to pay. He only wanted to pay the 10%.
Yeah.
So he goes, "Man," he goes, "No, man." He goes, so we're doing the paper. We're talking. We're talking about fights, and I'm telling him it's my first day on the job. So I have nothing there because I go, I don't even know if this company's going to work out or not. I go, I don't know. I go, my first day, and he goes, "Oh man," he goes, "Well, let me tell you what, man. I want to pay it off." He goes, let me write you a check." He threw me a check for 3 racks. And then he goes, man, I just want to pay. I want to be your first customer. Pay it in full.
Oh,
so he paid
wow.
me 3 racks, and I went home. I go, how much did you make today? And she said, well, a few $100. Whatever. I go, I made 3 racks. Now what? and so that's kind of how it happened. But watch, Bell was different back then. Bell was very, very good, and it was very, very good to me. And so, it just went up from there. I mean, instantly.
Wow.
I mean, by that month, I had made a few $1,000s.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Who gets a customer in the first day, man?
He's walked in. He's just walked in.
So how do you? So you had an office. You rented an office.
Yeah.
So did it cost you a lot? Did you struggle getting that money? Did you
No, I
use
still
your
had money
savings?
from the fights. So yeah. So I had money from fights and stuff.
So you give the first investment, but it was empty.
Yeah.
All you had was a chair and a table. That's it. And a
Yeah,
desk?
pretty much. Yeah, and then after about, it might have been I don't remember too well, maybe a few weeks or a month or two, and my wife says, "I'm gonna come work with you."
You're making money.
Yeah, because it was swamping what she was doing. It was literally swamping it, and so. Next thing you know, we're working. She's working. She's running the office, and I'm the guy with the name. So and at that time, we had people working for us, so we'd take off all the times, and we just started traveling a lot. And so we did that, and then came back, and your office is always making money, so you don't really have to worry about it. But then when the fall came in 2007, people didn't realize that. Everybody thought that state workers were the only ones that really, they did. They lost their jobs and stuff like that. I go, yeah, but it hurt our industry really, really bad here in Sacramento. And I was doing very, very, very well. And the first week, I went from 4 very wells to like 2 very wells. And then from the following month after that, I went to very well. And then after that, I went to okay. And for a few years after that, it was the months were either okay or nothing, and that's just how it was. And something like that, only the big boys survive, and which they did. There's a few smaller ones that survived too, but not too many. Most of them vanished. They closed up shop, and I lasted. I made it through, but. And I just closed mine a few months ago, So it just wasn't doing anything. Well, because after your money gets funny because you're trying to keep everything floating up. You're trying to float everything, and your savings goes from here to here.
Mm-hmm.
And so you got to do what you can do. And like I told my wife, I go, we didn't cry when we were rolling, so we're not going to cry now. We're just let her ride, see what happens, and we survived it. But you know what? I'm not complaining. I got into plumbing. Plumbing's been doing very good for me. My wife, she's gonna be a phlebotomist or
Phlebotomist, yeah.
Yeah, something like that.
Draw blood.
Yeah, that one of those things.
A vampire.
Yeah, vampire. She's gonna be a vampire. So so we're doing good. We're doing all right, and life is good. I can't complain. Don't do no good anyways.
Yeah, don't forget to subscribe so that way we can just do podcasts for a living.
Oh, that would be nice. Huh?
Yeah.
So, yeah, on that note, I'm still here, and so don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Hook a homie up, and we'll see you again next week.
Yes, we'll see you guys, and yeah, we have more questions too, so we're gonna save them for next week as well.
Give me one of those questions.
Let's do your last one.
Okay.
Okay, so do you have any role models?
No. You know what? Honestly, I don't. You know what? I was never...
When you're at the peak, who are you going to look up to when you are the one that everybody looks up to you?
You know what? I never had a role model. I never... you watch fights. Who's the big fighters back then? Muhammad Ali, Sugar Ray Leonard, Hagler, Duran, Tony the Lopez, Bobby Chacon. They were the big fighters back then, And but I never looked at them like, oh, that's my hero. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I never did that. I don't know. I'm not that guy, I guess. I think everybody's doing their thing, and more power to them, and good for them. But I'm gonna do mine. you know. And so, I mean, I just never really thought about it, I guess, to be honest.
It sounds like you never had one.
I didn't. I don't think I ever thought, oh man, I want to be just like him. Never thought that.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I just want to be able to kick some butt and take some names. Really, that's really what it was all about. So,
was there anybody that you wanted to fight? Like,
oh yeah,
like
dude,
for real,
dude. Okay, but then we'll stop it here. We'll talk. We gotta write this down because we'll pick this up next week.
Okay.
Watch. There was some fighters when I first won the title in 1988. There was Rocky Lockridge. There was who was it? Azuma Nelson. There was it McGuigan? Barry McGuigan? Was it? I think it was McGuigan. I think it was. Don't quote me on that one. You got to look it up. But there was the three champions. I wanted to fight all three of them. In the order I wanted to fight them in was Rocky Lockridge, which I did. I wanted to fight Azuma Nelson second. I never got a chance to fight Azuma Nelson because he retired before I had to fulfill my contract needs for the few fights. I had like 3 fights for my contract needs for that. If I was to win a title, I had 3 fights with the promoters already. So, and by the time, and they had other suggestions for me before Azuma Nelson. I really, really wanted to fight Azuma Nelson. And watch this. Not because I think because I think I can beat him. But let's be real. That would have been a fight. And I really thought that, man, you know what? That's going to be a fight. Win, lose, or draw. That's going to be. See, my thing was, that's another thing that's missing in fighters today. I really didn't care. You care. And you want to win. You do all that shit. You do everything you can to do to win. So I don't even know how to say this, but even if I lost, as long as I was in a good fight, I'm cool. I'm good. You know, I just don't want to be in a bad fight. You know, I don't want to be in a fight that people go, man, you didn't look that good today, Tony. Man, that was kind of a boring fight, dude.
It sounds like you don't want to get to the point where you got your ass whooped like completely, but you actually did put up a fight. You actually put up a show.
No, not that way. I want to make sure the fans are happy. I want to make sure that the fans go, man, Tony, man, great loss today, man. But what a great fight. You know, that's what I wanted. You know, because you can't whoop the world. I know that. And my thing was not to whoop the world. I just wanted to have good fights. I didn't want to be the fighter that goes, well, you know, he had some good fights and some fights were kind of Yeah, I don't want to be that guy. I want to be that guy where I've never seen Tony in a bad fight, dude. I just never have. And guess what? Everybody says that about me. I did win them all, but you never seen me in a bad fight. You know, even the blown eye socket, I still fought. You know, so it doesn't matter. And so, but let's pick up this Azuma Nelson thing next week, man. Cause
sounds good.
That's some good.
We'll touch up on that
for sure.
I wrote it down already.
All right.
So don't forget to subscribe, guys.
Hit the like button, subscribe, and remark next week if you can. Let's comments. Talk. We'll do a lot of reading off the comments, and we'll see you guys next week. Take it easy, huh?
See you guys later.
Peace.